The Shadow of Crimson Hollow. Crimson Hollow was a small, secluded village nestled in a valley surrounded by dense forests and towering mountains. The villagers lived simple lives, relying on the forest and their small farms for sustenance. However, Crimson Hollow was shrouded in a dark legend, whispered among the elders and passed down through generations, the legend of the vampire who haunted the night. The story began centuries ago, with a nobleman named Count Lucien, who lived in a grand mansion on the outskirts of the village. Count Lucien was charming and enigmatic, but he rarely appeared during the day and was never seen eating or drinking in public. The villagers were wary of him, but his wealth and influence kept them silent. One fateful night, a terrible storm struck the valley, and the villagers took shelter in their homes. When the storm passed, a tragedy was discovered. A young woman had disappeared from the village, her window open and the scent of roses lingering in the air. The villagers searched for her, but she was never found. Over the years, more people vanished, always under similar mysterious circumstances. The village was gripped by fear, and rumors spread that Count Lucien was a vampire, preying on the blood of the innocent. The villagers spoke of seeing shadows flitting through the forest at night, and of strange, pale figures with glowing eyes. Unable to bear the fear and uncertainty, a group of brave villagers decided to confront Count Lucien. Armed with torches and stakes, they stormed his mansion. Inside, they found him in his coffin, a look of peace on his face. They drove a stake through his heart and burned his body, hoping to end the curse. But the legend of the vampire did not die with Count Lucien. The mansion fell into ruin, and the villagers hoped their troubles were over. However, strange occurrences continued to plague Crimson Hollow. Livestock were found drained of blood, and people reported feeling watched at night. The villagers avoided the mansion, now a crumbling ruin, fearing the vampire's spirit still lingered. In the present day, a young woman named Anna, who had recently moved to Crimson Hollow to escape her past, became curious about the village's dark history. She was fascinated by the legend of Count Lucien and the stories of the haunted mansion. Despite the warnings of the villagers, she decided to explore the ruins, hoping to uncover the truth. Anna arrived at the mansion on a chilly autumn evening. The building was a decaying shell, overgrown with ivy and surrounded by a dense forest. As she wandered through the ruins, she felt a strange chill and a sense of being watched. She discovered a hidden passage leading to an underground chamber. Inside, she found an ancient coffin, undisturbed for years. As Anna examined the coffin, she noticed a faint scent of roses, the same scent described in the old legends. She felt a sudden, overwhelming sense of dread and turned to leave. But it was too late. The air grew cold, and she heard a soft, whispering voice. "Who disturbs my slumber?" the voice asked, sending a shiver down Anna's spine. Before she could react, a figure emerged from the shadows, a tall, pale man with piercing eyes and a calm demeanor. It was Count Lucien, somehow returned from the dead. "I have waited for centuries," he said, his voice smooth and hypnotic. "For someone like you." Anna tried to flee, but Count Lucien moved with supernatural speed, blocking her path. He smiled, revealing sharp fangs. "Do not be afraid," he whispered. "I offer you eternal life, power, and beauty beyond your wildest dreams." Anna was terrified, but also strangely drawn to him. She struggled to resist his gaze, which seemed to penetrate her soul. She realized with horror that she was being hypnotized, her will slipping away. But as Count Lucien moved closer, Anna found a spark of defiance. She reached into her bag and pulled out a silver cross, holding it between them. The vampire recoiled, hissing in pain. Seizing the moment, Anna ran from the chamber, desperate to escape the mansion. As she fled through the forest, the shadows seemed to come alive, chasing her with whispering voices and unseen hands. She could feel Count Lucien's presence, pursuing her relentlessly. Exhausted and terrified, Anna stumbled into the village, where the first light of dawn was breaking. The villagers, awakened by her cries, rushed to her aid. They listened in horror as she recounted her encounter with the vampire. The elders, who remembered the old stories, knew what had to be done. They armed themselves with holy symbols, silver weapons, and garlic, preparing to confront the ancient evil once more. Led by Anna, the villagers returned to the mansion at dawn. They found the vampire weakened by the rising sun, hiding in the shadows. Together, they surrounded him, chanting prayers and brandishing their weapons. Count Lucien, now a shadow of his former self, glared at them with hatred. "You cannot destroy me," he snarled. "I am eternal." But the villagers were resolute. They drove a stake through his heart, and the vampire's body disintegrated into dust. The mansion, long a place of fear and mystery, collapsed into ruins as the sun rose fully, its curse finally lifted. Anna, though shaken, felt a sense of relief. The nightmare was over, and Crimson Hollow was free from the vampire's shadow. The villagers thanked her for her bravery, and the legend of Count Lucien became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the darkness that can linger in the most unexpected places. Yet, as Anna looked at the ruins one last time, she couldn't shake the feeling that something still lurked in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to rise again. The villagers, too, knew that the darkness had not been fully vanquished, but only pushed back, waiting for the next soul to stumble upon its cursed legacy.